Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So tonight I came on here because I wanted to basically give my opinion about how this red pill, pink pill shit relates to spirituality and just give you some of the truth about what it really means to be masculine or feminine, because people don't know what that means. Especially when we're talking about it from a more spiritual or divine aspect. My name is Dr. D Oracle, and I am a psychic medium. I give people insight. That's what they pay me for. And so that's what I like to do on my channel. So if you're new to my channel and you like the content, please make sure you click on that subscribe button. I usually talk about everything metaphysical. Okay, so this is shit that you can't see, but you probably can feel. Maybe it resonates with you in some capacity, or you relate to it in a certain way. As a psychic medium, I'm very grateful to have awareness, like an expanded awareness of other realms. So when it comes down to insight for me, you know, I look and speak with people's spirit, okay? And that helps me understand the deeper aspects of them, things within the subconscious. So when you're talking about the divine masculine or the divine feminine, what does that mean? Because I did hear a couple of those Kevin Samuels videos and other people's videos, and it seems like people can't pinpoint what it is to really be like masculine or feminine. It's supposed to be a look. Then some people say it's an attitude. Some people say it's, a thought pattern or the way that you pretty much solve problems and use your creative ability. For me, when I think about these gender wars going on, and when I say gender wars, that's when a woman is saying, oh, men need to do this and this and that because they're not it anymore. Or men saying, oh, women need to do this and this and that because they're not anymore. Here's what I think about that. So watching those videos and seeing certain women call in on those videos, it's like he asked them several questions and they're not spiritually connected. That's the first thing I pick up. Because when you're spiritually connected, baby, you can read yourself better than you can read anybody else. Promise you. And for a person like me, I definitely read myself as well as other people. So here's what I pick up. When they're calling in and he's asking them a question and they're not connected to, their spiritual self, they don't even know why they made some of the decisions that they made. They can't pinpoint the root issue. So I seen him ask a lot of women, well, why did you leave? What they should have said was, and this is what I equate to the divine feminine. I could not reason with that person. I did not understand how to reason with this individual. I don't understand how to reason with a man. It seems very difficult for me to be able to do that. Now, that would be accepting accountability as well as, just kind of giving people an awareness of what the root issue is. Whether or whatever reason you have for not being able to reason with that individual, it's neither here nor there. But one of the prized qualities about the divine feminine or the feminine energy is not our nurturing qualities. That's bullshit. That's a stereotype. It's our ability to reason with a man while having respect for him, not putting him down, and not taking the credit for being able to do that. Like, that's just that right brain activity. I can reason. Why? How can I reason? Well, for one, I'm intuitive. I sense things, I feel things, I can see the bigger picture. Because I can do that, I can look ahead and see how an attitude can develop, or see how I can influence this person to where it not only gets us in a better place, but it makes them feel good about who they are. They feel like, well, damn, I made a good choice, by connecting with, this person, because they've actually helped me and they knew how to do it without judging me or making me feel bad. A divine feminine is like evolution. Okay, so the creation's already here. That's the divine masculine. That's that standard or that example that's already been set. And evolution goes along with that principle, those principles that are already set in creation that the divine masculine represents, and starts to work with the environment in ways that I can still survive and make this a better place for myself. But if I need to adapt to changes, I'm able to do that with no sweat off my back. And I don't need to proclaim it to the world and to everyone else and say, hey, I'm better than the creation, or I'm at the same level as the creation, because I know how to move with this energy, in a let's just say in a natural disaster. You just moved with that energy, so you're still here, you're still alive, you're able to keep going. Now that evolutionary adaptability factor is equal or can be kin like to reasoning. Like, reasoning is like that as above, so below. So in nature adapts, nature evolves. That is the feminine essence or quality. We're able to adapt. We're able to evolve. Not only that, but we're able to expand anything that is within our reach. So we're able to expand our man's finances. We're able to expand his credit. We're able to expand his seed, his legacy. Divine masculine sets the standard and creates the example. So ladies, when we're asking for a quote unquote alpha male, that's not really what it is. We're asking for a male who can basically show us a display of his decision-making skills and his problem-solving ability in how he sets a standard, how he makes principles, how he sets himself up in a way that, everything is managed or maintained. Okay? That is the divine masculine of the universe. Like, we're living off those universal laws. We don't get to say what planet we get to be on. Like, we're here. When we come out with our awareness, this is where we are. We don't get to control any of that. We have to flow with that as human beings. Everyone. Okay? So when we're talking about how the universe works or how God's work, they set an example for a particular way to do things or a particular knowledge. So when you talk about the God of writing, or, you talk about the God of this or the God of that, the reason why they're gods is because they set a particular standard for how this is supposed to work. And everyone else follows that standard. Period. So when asking what can we give to a relationship, is that ability to provide some type of foresight or good hindsight, which helps us reason better, those good reasoning skills, without taking credit, boasting about it, okay, but just really understanding how to move with that energy, to, I don't want to say please because I don't want to get this mistaken for people pleasing, but really how to move in that energy and kind of motivate or influence people to do things that you need them to do, but from like behind the scenes. You get what I'm saying? And then that divine masculine energy is something that you should be able to respect in a man. And it has to do with logical thinking. And it also has to do with judgment, like having good judgment. So men have to understand that, you know, you want to be trusted and you don't want to always have a woman to question, why it is that you're doing what you're doing, or to feel like she does something, she can do something better than you because she's trusted you with that ability, but you haven't proved that you could handle it. That's some of the things where security is built around when it comes down to what women are asking for. A lot of them saying that they want a high value man, but really that's not what they want. They want a man who can exemplify security in his decision making and creative skills. That's in itself is showing that a person can provide, and it doesn't matter if they have money or they have to live off nature and the earth. If you know how to build a house or do something like that, you know how to live in harmony with nature. And nature is what really provides for everyone, male and female. So I think people have that confused. They're not holistic and they're not connected on spiritual levels, so they can't identify these factors. And then when they're talking about sexual market value, well, it is talking how aesthetically pleasing that you are to the eyes, to the man. But, that's where the man isn't spiritually connected, because he's only seeing a physical aspect of a being. Somebody calling me because they want a reading. This is Dr. D. Oracle speaking.
Hey, it's Nisi. How are you?
I'm fine. How you doing? I'm going to call you right back because I'm doing a little thing real quick, and I'm going to give you a call as soon as I get done.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Now, see? And this is how I know these things. Because just like these, I won't say YouTube personalities, but I feel like they're pop-up, kind of personalities that just take something that people want to hear because they have itching ears and run with it. But really, they're not being holistic. They're not dealing with root issues. And as a root worker, I deal with root issues. So I can see things like that. The ancestors show me and they tell me. But that's what these gender wars are pretty much resulting from. A lack of people not being whole, not being able to really pinpoint, some of the root issues of what they want, why they want it. I understand also wanting the woman's nurturing qualities. But, we have to be really careful not to reduce the value of each person down to how a person looks, their body, or what they can give you on a material level. That's not what it's about. There are people right now who live in poor countries. They still have families, married men, and they're considered to be living in poverty. There are homeless people on the street right now who just want to be with someone, and they will be with another homeless person. So I don't think men or women have ever just wanted each other for beauty or for money, or for sex. Those are things that are presented to us that if we're not careful to look at the big full picture, then we are probably going to stereotype, many of these things and not look at them from an aspect of, okay, how is it that two people become one? They don't become one just because they have a child. They become one because they're able to combine their mindsets in a way where they're able to equally exchange energy with each other. And it may not always be pleasing, but it gets things done. It's sufficient and it keeps a balance. Those are going to be the best relationships because nobody's going to walk away with a perfect person, period. And I think misogyny or feminism is bred as reactions to abuse, or a flux of power, one party wanting to hold more power than another party. And a lot of relationships are about that, competing with each other because, each person want to know that they hold a certain amount of power in the relationship and influence. And that's totally valid. But we need to be able to say that and we need to be able to speak that and not do things like say all men ain't shit because that's not true. Um, we just don't understand how to reason appropriately, with some of these men, and some of these men don't listen to reason and they don't know how to set an example, and so they can't garner the respect that they want from women. And a lot of men think that the way to do that is with like money and cars, and we all know how that is. I mean, I know how it is when someone's love language is so superficial that they kind of buy you gifts all the time instead of understanding how they're really supposed to exchange energy with you. um yeah, it seems like something you want to get diamond rings and bracelets and jewelry and flowers, but if it's not productive to your relationship, then you'll start to think, hey, I'm really enjoying getting this stuff, but I'm not getting anything else that I want. And so that'll start to weigh heavy on you. It could be something that you'll resent after a while. And so some of that feminism is birthed from that. Like, hey, you're not listening to me. This is what I've asked for. But if you can't give it to me, well, I can take care of myself. I'm not going to allow anyone to use money over me. And really, that masculine energy that's coming out, some of it is protective. If you've been, sexually violated or abused, or you've been put in an unsafe space, where male energy that you've ended up coming across or exchanging with someone wasn't healthy for you and it was kind of toxic, well, you have to protect yourself. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to have some sort of balls, grow some, because no one else is going to do it, especially if you come from things like families where there's mostly women and no men to kind of like protect you or, put that out. Or maybe you live far away from your family. So you went, to school with people who you didn't know, you know, and then, I feel like as far as men or what they're calling beta or simps, those are men who either are carrying a lot of emotional energy or they're listening to more reason than they should with a woman, so it's causing them to look foolish. Okay. And there are women who, totally abuse their divine feminine to where, at every little thing they're trying to reason now. They're spoiled. They want their way for everything. That's foolishness, okay? So I understand that concept, but when we're saying beta or we're saying a simp, I mean, are we really saying, you're stupid, you should never reason with a woman? So, we got to be careful about that too, especially as women who, you know, we look down on something like that. And then we say we want this alpha male who, his emotions are like something that he doesn't even want to acknowledge. Like, he's not an emotional cat at all. And so you're left saying things like, damn, does he really care? Or how does he really feel about me? Because he never shows it. Am I saying that there's anything wrong with men like that? Well, most definitely, they're emotionally, unavailable. So there are other ways that those men exchange energy with you that might not be, healthy for your emotional development, you know? But maybe there are women out there for them. However, if a man is using logic and he's able to listen to reason, tapping into that emotional energy to, be able to exchange that with women and children, even in small ways of healing and nurturing, becomes very important when you start to, run into people because, there is abuse. There is a pattern where people are mentally ill. There is a pattern of people, having narcissistic behaviors. There is a pattern of people not having any role models or examples because men are not in the homes. So, yeah, that's basically what I think of this red pill, pink pill content. What the divine masculine and feminine really is. How we've abused, those things within one another. And what we need to observe or become aware of so that we can transcend, the way we're reacting on those levels. And with gender roles, society creates gender roles because in different places all around the world, men and women are respected and reverenced different and hold different types of roles in every society. So, yep, that's it. Hope you enjoyed this talk and this gives you something to think about when you're watching that Kevin Samuels red pill, pink pill content. Bye.